Merry Christmas, everyone! Merry Christmas, YouTube! Oh yeah, I just like to mention, oh yeah, Just Me Music, like those Just Me Music CDs that magically change the name of who they talk about. Yeah, that's another little part of my childhood I want to preserve for eternity in these videos. You know, I've had Just Me Music CDs of VeggieTales, Barney, and the Wiggles. They were fun. I even got some copies for other members of my family, like Mother Linda and Cousin Nicholas. But yeah, I'm here today because I would like to clear something up about Camp Coral and the Patrick Star Show. You see, when Steven Hillenburg was talking with TBI back in, like, I think October 27th, 2009, he didn't actually, he did say this. He said, that the show and Spongebob Squarepants and the world of it are built around Spongebob Squarepants and the characters that he knows, and he's the core element of the show. So that's why he didn't see any spin-offs happening, because Patrick by himself might be a bit too much. And I believe that's still true of the Patrick Star Show, which is why the producers who developed it kept that in mind, because Patrick wasn't by himself. He also had Squidina, this girl who went to the moon with SpongeBob, Pearl and Sandy, and Goons on the moon, and got annoyed by Patrick taking too many free samples of ice cream in the Goofy Newbie. Yeah, when she worried about doing another ice cream episode in Enemies a la Mode, it actually reminded me of that one scene she had with Patrick before the Patrick Star Show in the Goofy Newbie. So, yeah, my point is, yeah. So, what makes the Patrick Star Show work as a spin-off is that Patrick isn't the one core element of it like SpongeBob SquarePants and SpongeBob SquarePants, because he's actually one of two core elements. The two core elements of the Patrick Star Show are Patrick Star and his little girl helper, who's smarter than him, Squidina. They got a nice big dumb brother, or little intelligent sister dynamic going for them. And in another way, like as far as talk shows go, they also remind me of, I think Patrick and Squidina go together like Seth Meyers and Amber Ruffin. But here's the truth about Steven Hillenburg, since I looked into the origins and development of Camp Coral and the Patrick Star Show. So yeah, Steven Hillenburg said here's what I have to say about that, since here's what I learned since the previous time I talked about this 3 days ago. So yeah, Steven Hillenburg said he didn't see any spin-offs happening for SpongeBob, but at least he didn't say he was actively against it, and it's possible that he changed his mind as time went on. Because Brian Robbins, you see, back in like in the month of October in 2018, he went to, he became a new producer he became a new executive producer at Nickelodeon, and when SpongeBob Squarepants got a season 12 pickup, he was at a SpongeBob season 12 pickup meeting, and all Vincent Waller and Steven Hillenburg were making 12 seasons of SpongeBob Squarepants, and their third SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, which is the exact same title of a coloring book I got when I was a kid that was based on the pair of season 2 episodes, Pre-Hibernation Week and Life of Prime, since they're both about SpongeBob Squarepants running from somebody. Brian Robbins noticed about SpongeBob SquarePants that even though it was a very entertaining show to watch for 19 years, it's stayed mostly the same, and Brian Robbins knew there was some new territory the show could explore with the origins or the individual histories of the characters, or putting them in their own environments, which is why they made Camp Coral, I guess. It's supposedly about the origins of like SpongeBob and Patrick meeting each other at camp, but I haven't seen SpongeBob on the Run. It probably did a better job of covering that than the whole series, the whole spin-off series did. And Sandy's there too because she actually told her past self to go to because even though SpongeBob and Sandy, I guess, originally meant tea at the Tree Dome in the second half of the first episode, Sandy actually got her past self in Kitchen Sponge she wanted her 10-year-old self to go to the camp to save the Krabby Patty formula from Plankton, which I thought Kitchen Sponge, I guess, was an interesting connection between Camp Coral and the original SpongeBob series, but it also has its own problems regarding the origins story of Mr. Krabs and Plankton and the Krabby Patty formula and Chum and Friend or Foe. But enough about that. So because Brian Robbins started getting the Nickelodeon producers to develop ideas for spin-offs, a month before Steven Hillenburg died, I think that proves that Nickelodeon didn't really wait for Steven Hillenburg to die to make these spin-offs, because he never actually said that he didn't want any spin-offs. He just didn't see any spin-offs happening. But he probably, maybe he did actually have some involvement. He probably had some involvement in the productions of these spin-offs because, again, like I said, it was October and he died in November. And Camp Coral started development, I think, on February 14th, 2019, and then the Patrick Star Show on August 10, 2020. Maybe it was August 20, 2020. And so the thing is, it's actually kind of hard to be sure if Nickelodeon, I don't think Nickelodeon is really disrespecting Hillenburg's legacy by making these two spin-offs, because they're not quite as bad as I expect them to be. Camp Coral is, as I told you in the previous video, Camp Coral limits itself to one type of SpongeBob episode that we've gotten from the original series in Club SpongeBob, the camping episode, and the Inmates of Summer. So, these two spin-off ideas are really hit and miss. But I thought the Patrick Star Show really worked much better as a spin-off. SpongeBob characters that are very simplistic. There's not really, it's not really the same kind of show as Star vs. the Forces of Evil or Amphibia, where you could actually have a lot of backstory and lore and origin stories to explore these characters. But the Patrick Star Show, I thought, the Patrick Star Show really worked much better as a spin-off in terms of putting a character in their own environment. And Yeah, I guess since yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, I guess it's possible that the original conception of Camp Coral started early enough for for Steven Hillenburg to have some involvement in the production. That's why he's listed as the creator, but not with the Patrick Star Show, because that came 1.5 years after Camp Coral, after the development of Camp Coral. However, yeah, Steven Hillenburg noted in that interview from 2009 that even though he doesn't own the show because it's only Nickelodeon or Viacom, he does still have a say in merchandise, which is why Spongebob Squarepants doesn't sell fish sticks, and he also didn't want to make Krabby Patties a real thing. So he probably did have a say in the creation of these spin-offs. Now, yeah, the Patrick Star Show is a mystery to me. I mean, obviously, they have no credited creator because the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants already died before they started making it. But since it was developed by Steven Hillenburg's his main team of I guess original team of like 6 producers, I think it's a safe bet that maybe he did have an idea of like the conception of it, because maybe he saw Squidina in Goons on the Moon and the Goofy Newbie when they were making seasons 11 and 12 and thought, maybe a Patrick spinoff would work if we included that girl with him. If we had an intelligent little girl to play off of him. So, yeah, that's my theory on how the Patrick Star Show got started with no creator. That's why I think the Patrick Star Show got started with its deceased, uncredited creator. Yeah, so, yeah, that's my theory. Steven Hillenburg probably had no involvement with the creation or development of it, but he probably yeah, I'm just guessing that, maybe he saw Squidina in Goons on the Moon and thought that she's just the foil that Patrick needed to make the spin-off work, and that's why, so, in a way, I think the Patrick Star Show was his idea, at least partly his idea, if he wanted Squidina to be Patrick's co-star and adopted sister after seeing how she worked as a character in Goons on the Moon. But otherwise, if that's not what happened, then the Patrick Star Show's reason for, or methods of it existing without a creator, is even more mysterious than Wonder Park being made without a director. The director they originally had got fired for, well, if you read about it. They went on without Dylan Brown. So, yeah, if the Patrick Star Show can go on, has no creator, but still has developers, that probably means he did have an idea for that probably means Hillenburg did have some idea of the Patrick Star Show that lived on after his death, from ALS. But that's just my theory. What do you think of the Patrick Star Show's mysterious creation? All I know is Nickelodeon didn't really wait for Steven Hillenburg to die before they started making these 2 SpongeBob spin-offs, and he wasn't, and he wasn't against spin-offs. He at least sounded like he was open to them. And if Steven Hillenburg was still alive today, I think he would have enjoyed the Patrick Star Show. In my opinion, the Patrick Star Show works much better as a SpongeBob spin-off than Camp Coral. And it also helps that the Patrick Star Show has the same 2D art style as SpongeBob instead of the new CGI art style of Camp Coral and Sponge on the Run, which used to be titled It's a Wonderful Sponge. So, thanks for watching this video, and happy holidays to all, and to all a good night.